Hello and welcome to Lesson 1 of the Advanced Preparatory Tutor book in piano playing. So in this lesson we will learn about the key of D, the scale of D major, the arpeggio of D major, we'll learn about playing pieces in D position, and we'll also learn about the crossover action in D position as well. So you'll see very closely here that music is in the key of D when there's an F sharp and a C sharp in the key signature. Then just underneath that, you've actually got the scale of D written out in the right hand and the left hand. So all you've got to remember is when you play this scale, that you've just got to make sure that you do put your F sharp and your C sharp in. So I'll now play that scale for you, starting in the right hand first. And then the left hand. So there's no great shocks in this. You still keep using the conventional fingering that you've used with all the previous scales. It's just a case of remembering the two sharps that were within it. Then you've actually got the opportunity to write out the scale in the treble clef underneath. So when you go over the page, you've got the arpeggio of D major. And again, just follow the conventional fingering you've used in previous grades for your arpeggios, and you can't go far wrong. The only thing to remember is that with the arpeggio of D major, you do have an F sharp in. So the second note that you play will be an F sharp. Remember to turn your wrist as well towards the top note, as you've done in previous grades. And left hand as well. Then you have the opportunity of writing the D major arpeggio on the stave in the treble clef. So obviously, because you're playing in the key of D now, it's sensible to actually play in D position. So D position obviously is where you put your thumb on the D note rather than the C note. And this is what this page is explaining about. And then when you go to your left hand, the same thing will apply, but with your little finger, that goes on the D note instead. Then you have the opportunity to play your first piece, called Right Follows Left. Now this is quite a difficult piece, because if you look carefully, you'll see that you've got quite a few rests in this. So you've just got to make sure that where the rests are, you don't hold on the notes in your left hand. So you can see the left hand stops playing here and you've got a complete rest there. The major fault that we have with this piece is that people keep holding on to all the notes and don't observe the rests. You've also got a timing here of allegro man non troppo, which is fast, but not too fast. You've also got staccatos and slurs. You've got crescendos, diminuendos. So there's a lot to think about, all in this one piece. Now it's quite a short piece, but within it, it's got a lot of detail. So it's very, very difficult to actually get this right with all the detail in. So you need to spend a lot of time working on this separate hands, looking at the slurs, looking at the staccatos, looking at the rests, looking at the dynamics, before you even try putting these hands together. Now the finished performance will sound something like this. Now, the next stage is moving on to a technique that we have come across before in C position and in G position, But now we're going to do it in D position as well, which is the crossover action. So you put your second finger over the top, but because there's a C sharp in the key signature, you're crossing over to the C sharp. And that really is the most important aspect of playing the next piece, which is called Sweet Dreams. Again, it's in the key of D. It's got a moderato tempo to begin with. Now, the other difficult place might be where you've got your intervals. So if you look at bar 9, you have an interval of a third there. And then bar 10, an interval of a fifth with a C natural. So watch out in these places that you do play your accidentals. Here's a performance. And that completes lesson 1.